A decision by the South African National Roads Agency to cancel a number of infrastructure tenders has been labelled nonsensical by the Civil Engineers Contractors Body. It says the move will be detrimental to economic growth. A SAForum of Civil Engineers Contractors CEO Webster Mfebe joins us now to elaborate on their position. Good evening. Good to have you with us, and thank you for coming through.
Good.
Talked about these adjudicated projects to the value of 17 billion rands or more. Why do you firstly say this cancellation is unprecedented?
It is unprecedented given the magnitude of the impact on the economy because 17.5 billion using a factor of 4 generates 70 billion rands. Therefore, the impact on the South African economy is 70 billion rands. And also due to the fact that the president has been going around promising investors that South Africa is open for business, and Sandra is saying on the other side, South Africa is closed for business. Yeah. It is unprecedented that presidential projects, infrastructure projects, could be just cancelled willy-nilly at adjudication stage by a board that sat for 2.5 years to realize that the decision that it made was not complied with. Having attended numerous meetings at taxpayers' money, and why do taxpayers deserve this kind of treatment? Because good road network connects communities and economies within our country. And this is totally unprecedented that you have this type of thing happening.
Yeah. Let's talk about that before we come to the resolution of the board. Let's talk about just the impact on road maintenance and road infrastructure. What projects are these and what kind of impact will they have?
These are roads and bridge projects. As I've indicated, roads connect communities and economies. If you think about, for an example, the Wild Coast, the M10 Bridge, for an example, this is happening for the second time. At the time, it was a German company that was involved with South African counterparts. It was cancelled. Forget about the reasons. And now for the second time, with the involvement of the Chinese company with the South African counterparts, it is cancelled again for lapses of governance over which the board has oversight and stewardship role, having attended numerous meetings without picking up these.
Yeah. So you're saying that the board should not be commended from being maybe a little bit circumspect, exercising some diligence here in terms of their governance responsibility. What if indeed there is corruption involved?
Well, diligence should not be subjective. It must be objective. It must be based on facts. I mean, mere suspicion, therefore it means we don't have a rule of law in this country. Those in villages who suspect certain people are witches are then entitled to hack them to death because they suspect so. Here, we're talking about a country that has got rules, procurement laws, and conditions under which you can cancel tenders. If those are met, which is why we are saying National Treasury must get involved to determine as to whether the cancellation of those tenders meet the test of material irregularity as they purport to be.
Yeah. So you are saying that reasoning of the board is not cogent?
No, you can't just cancel things on suspicion. I can suspect that you are not a good presenter here and then you should be fired.
Yeah.
I mean, it does not work that way. There must be objective facts that are put forward. Mere suspicion is not enough.
Yeah.
Because the manner in which these projects have been undertaken over the years is still the same, and it is in line with international standard best practice.
There is, of course, some kind of suggestion. Yeah, we'll come to it. There's some kind of suggestion to say maybe the adjudication process now should go to an independent public institution? Because there's a sense that maybe, I suppose, even its own management is implicated in this so-called corruption.
Well, I yet to see which public institution will that be, because all public institutions, when it comes to road infrastructure, even public institutions go to SANRAL. That is a go-to institution, even in terms of implementing projects outside of South Africa, in Africa. Public institutions here, for an example, like the DBSA, they use SANRAL. And it is international standard best practice that the designers of infrastructure, because they take indemnity against which they have designed. Otherwise, they can be arrested for failures of the infrastructure that they have designed. That is the best practice that happens all over the world, that you design, you check the contractability of that design, you monitor that design because you've taken indemnity against that design. Yeah. And in fact, the consulting engineer is part of the employer, which is SANRAL in this case. It's not like a contractor. We as contractors are independent. Yeah. We're there to build. We're not siding with SANRAL. But consulting engineers, they are the employer party, trusted about the design they have made, and they are required in terms of the engineering practice code to ensure that they do that with integrity, with professionalism, with honesty, and they must make sure that design is carried out exactly as it was. You cannot pass a design for which you have taken indemnity to another person. That person will not be responsible for that design, and the original designer will not be responsible for that. And this is international best practice. It is only that what is needed is that the board, I think, should be schooled on how these things work, because this is a new board that came in 2018, and in fact that has overstayed its welcome by 9 months because its term expired in August 2021.
So, I mean, as the contractors, the engineers, you're just not buying the story at all. The kind of explanation that you're being given, you're not.
It has been done like that over the years. It has been audited by the Auditor General. It is international standard best practice. And they can even go, I mean, there are eminent people who are respected in this country. Some of them are in Treasury who have left Treasury, and they are somewhere. Some of them, they've been running that institution. I'm thinking, and I'm congratulating Mr. Nazir Ali, for an example, for being appointed or elected as president of the World Road Association. Those skills are sitting there. He has been running, for an example, a SANRAL 4 years professional with the same team that is there. National Treasury, where we have escalated these matters, maybe I would advise them to contact such people, for an example, to determine exactly how these things should be done. We don't buy that story.
Why? Why would they do this? Why would they want to deviate from best practice, which they have followed for years?
No, not this board, which SANRAL has followed for years. I would say it's just ignorance on the part of the board.
Nothing else? Just pure ignorance, just pure inexperience on the part of the board?
Well, I don't want to speculate. What is very conspicuous is that they do not have the comprehension of how construction infrastructure of that nature is procured. There are even very unbelievable suggestions that the designers are designing these projects to suit certain contractors. I mean, come on. When you build a bridge, you design a bridge, what do you need to build a bridge? You need cement, you need steel, you need stone, you need water. I mean, all those things are available. There's no secret like Colonel Sanders' secret recipe of Kentucky. They are known. You can procure them here in South Africa or anywhere where you can get them at a cheaper price. What is it that you're going to change in cement, in all those elements that you might use in building a bridge? There's nothing novel. There's nothing secretive about that. It is inconceivable and impractical that any designer can design a design that can suit a particular contractor. Full stop.
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming through. That is the CEO of the South African Forum of Civil Engineers, Webster Mfebe.